Why do you think it's important to know how to change tire?
Uh, the words are not like before. The words are changing every year. The mentality of the people, the way they think, the way they act, everything. All times, uh, everything was changing every 100 years, every 200 years, even more. Sometimes 1 million years it takes for the human being to change from one direction to other direction. But right now, based on the technology we have, it's actually a big difference. Right now, technology are changing so fast. If you cannot keep up with it, you're gonna stay behind. In my job is the same way too. I'm as a technician mechanic. Same thing happened. We have to keep updating, keep changing. And before mechanic shop was mechanic, we've been mechanic. Now we are technicians. So what we've been doing before working on the mechanic part, which wasn't changing as much. Right now the electronic part every 6 months or every year is changing. So you have to keep up with that change. Is that right answer you think to this first question?
I mean, yeah, I think it's good.
Uh-huh. Uh,
Why do you think it's important to know how to change tire?
Basically, it's a safety opportunity. I think everyone should know how to change a tire. They could be stranded somewhere, and definitely it's going to help you get where you need to go.
What other life skill do you think are important for young adults to know?
Don't pay attention to the society. Make sure that you do basic skills. As a man, you gotta build and fix everything. And you ain't got females to actually help you with nothing. So don't focus on girls.
Why do you think it's important to know how to change tire?
Hold it. Okay. Well, yeah. Changing tires is very important because 99% of the world drives, and that's not the whole percentage, but drive cars, and that's it's a safety hazard. So if you don't have the right tire, say if your tire need alignment or you have a nail in your tire, it can go flat. You need to go somewhere. When your tire go flat, how you gonna get there if your tire flat? Or you need alignment and your car get to shaking. Hey, so it's important to change tires because you need it for your vehicle to get to where you need to go, school, work, out of town, vacation, etc. So very important to change tires.
Okay. Why do you think it's important to know how to change tire?
Well, if you don't know how to change a tire, you're going to be sitting there until someone comes to help you do it. Plus, it's just an easy thing that anybody should know how to do, especially if you're in a desolate area or if you don't have family or no one can come at a certain time. You'll just be sitting there. So I think it's very important. It's save you a bunch of time and keep you from being in a bad place.
Why do you think it's important to know how to change tire?
It's changing tires is a very important skill. You got to pick up on that, especially because it's important. First of all, because mostly every car has tires, and you never know when you're gonna end up on the side of the road, probably with your girl, with your kids. You got to get from point A to point B, or you never know you got to make it to work. It's always important to change tires. You gotta learn. That's one of the basic things I advise everybody to learn when they first get a car is to change the tires. If you don't know nothing else, you better know some tires, bro.
What other life skills do you think are important for young adults to know?
young adults. One thing is not mentioning anywhere in the school system especially is they are not teaching the kids psychology. Why? Because there is a lot of mistakes happening, and especially based on the videos and medias right now, like social medias, they are showing the surface of the love life. Everybody are loving, everybody happiness, everything, but actually behind the scene is different. Uh, that's why there is a lot of divorces. There is a lot of people they don't like to get married, for example, I just making an example of some lines, or a lot of people are confused. For example, when it comes to the married aspect of it, is if the people have, if the people met someone, for example, based on the information they get from the facial, from the talking, from the lifestyle of the person, they can understand how much they are instead of going for the beauty of the person. You see? Mm-hmm. So the beauty is not everything. They have to learn if they are matched, if they don't know how to get to the right person to educate them, like a psychologist and or family therapist, to teach them if these two are matched and they're gonna have a safe interest in their life and how long they can go based on that information they get. We do not have any of this in the school system. There's a lot of narcissist people in the world. There's a lot of psychopaths, a lot of different people who actually I didn't know anything about this stuff when I was looking for a partner. And basically it was a kind of gambling for me on that time, you know, and to find a right person. That's how it was. But right now, based on the technology, based on the science we have right now, it's very important the other people, the young adults, know about this stuff. So in the future, we can have a better society. If you notice, society is right now a mess. It's just because the people, social media is number one, and brainwashing the kids, brainwashing the young adults, and the value is wrong. Value is wrong. They have to find the right value. And I'm not talking about religion. Religion could be good, could be bad, but I'm talking about humans, how they have to be together.
What other life skills do you think are important for young adults to know?
Reasoning, logic, critical thinking.
Why do you think it's important to know how to change your tire?
Because you have to be a man at the end of the day. You see a woman on the side of the road, or if you're in a relationship or something like that, automatically, you got to change the tire, bro. Like you are weak if you can't do basic simple stuff.
What other life skills do you think are important for young adults to know?
I would say I don't have a specific skill. I would say learn as many skills as you can. I wouldn't say stick to one specific skill unless that's what you want to do. But if I think the world is big for learning a lot of things, a lot of skills. So I would say different skills. I don't have a specific skill. I say learn as much as you can.
What other life skills do you think are important for young adults to know?
I think time management is a big one, and you know, um, learning how to give respect to others. I think that's maybe lost a little bit these days.
What other life skills do you think are important for young adults to know?
Main one, because I'm a young adult myself. The main life skills I feel like every young adult should know is patience and consistency. Because without the patience, you can't be consistent. Because shit don't come it don't come fast. But you gotta stay consistent because that's the only way how you gonna get through there. But behind that consistency is the discipline. First of all, that's number one. Fuck all everything else. Discipline is the first skill everybody should learn. Then consistency, then patience. But when you being disciplined, that comes behind the discipline of patience and consistency. So that's my three life skills I feel like everybody should learn.
Thank you. Do you think school should teach more practical skill like that?
It's definitely important to have those skills. Mm-hmm. It's just like a human body. If you are a human and you just go to the school and learn about the school, you have a big head. Good, that's not a bad thing. But how about if you have a short hands? You have to have a physical and emotional and psychological body to be matched. You cannot have a longer hand while you have a small head. So you have to learn in every aspect of the life. There is a lot of different ways. Some stuff you can, and we are in the same good society and good time of the world, to my idea. You can learn as much as you want and do this stuff. Uh, my son is right now in the Boys Scout. He's learning some stuff. He just turned to 6th grade in the Boys Scout, basically. And they want to teach them how to change the brake pads and brake job, actually. And they teach them how to go to the parks, clean the park for the, for the park and for the people, basically. And they teach them a lot of good stuff, and it's very nice. I like that part, you know. And it really important. It is really important, you know. Uh, but should be shouldn't be extreme on each side. Shouldn't be that much of this one, that much of this one. It should be a balance between. That's the important part. And right now, my son is like 10 years old. For 10 years old, he's good. He cooking pasta. He cooking eggs. He knows how to make the cheese sandwich, pizza. So for 10 years old, he's doing very good. If I'm not home or he needed something, I'm doing something important, I cannot pay attention to him, or mother is not around, he can cook whatever he wants, you know. And I know that changing the brake pad is a little bit too soon for him, but in future when he is interested, I'm gonna teach him that too. So yeah, this is very important.
Do you think school should teach more practical skill like that?
I definitely believe so. I have children of my own, and I try to encourage them to think and reason and work with different life challenges.
Okay, do you think school should teach more practical skill like that?
School is nothing. At the end of the day, you always got to remember that if you learn real life skills, if you learn from the streets, you don't pay attention to school, because at the end of the day, they are teaching you to be a 9 to 5 worker. You go to school at 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning, you get off. You do an 8 hour shift with 1 hour lunch, and automatically you are a victim inside the matrix. Be outside. Think about, as soon as you get out of school, what is your next money move? How can you make more money?
Do you think school should teach more practical skill like that?
Yes, I actually do, because it'll get you prepared for the outside world. So, if they practice more in school, then when you step out into the free world, then you won't be what's the word I'm looking for? You mean you won't be like basically not knowing what's going on. You won't be new. You won't be you have what's the word I'm looking for? You'll kind of go into it not blindsided. Basically, what I'm saying, you have a little skills, you have a little, you know what you're doing when you're coming out of school. If they practice it more than you, just coming out of school, not practicing nothing, coming into this world blindsided, and getting the learning from the people in this world who probably won't teach you like they will in school. So that's important that you learn in school. They need to practice more skills like that.
Do you think school should teach more practical skill like that?
I do. And more practical skills that you can learn every day: how to balance a checkbook, how to talk to someone, how to treat people. Certainly. Yeah.
Do you think school should teach more practical?
Yes, yes, yes. But you know how? But I ain't gonna speak too much. But they make it workers more than thinkers. So, yeah, I think every school should teach that, because that will set a person way more farther and beyond in life when they get in the real world. So yeah, that's one of the most important skills. Them 3 skills I said was most important skills. You need the discipline, because life is full of challenges, and the discipline is a set of tools to help you get through life's challenges. Them days when you don't feel like getting up to go to work, but you gotta go to work to pay them bills. That's that discipline that you have. So you got to have discipline, and the consistency and the patience comes behind the discipline because when you're disciplined, you're consistent and you're patient. You know it ain't gonna come fast because you're disciplined. So they all go together.